Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, and we are live on YouTube and on TikTok. So today I'll start quoting from page, yeah, 667. Mhm. Her gauge was bootlicking, selfless. In her father's time, all of his money wouldn't have given him a chance to speak to his lousiest wiper and get away with it, as she spoke to our best skilled workers and their wives. She had pale eyes that looked fishy, cold and dead, and if you ever want to see pure evil, you should have seen the way her eyes glinted when she watched some man who'd talked back to her once and who'd just heard his name on the list of those getting nothing above basic pittance. And when you saw it, you saw the real motive of any person who's ever preached the slogan, from each according to his ability to each according to his need. So this lady is someone who inherited the wealth and a big factory from her father. She had, I think, two brothers, and they created this need-based socialist type economy, very collectivist, where all was about the need. And her description makes me remember, those people I see in Soviet movies, like the movies were shot by Soviet filmmakers. It's not like the Western propaganda. It's this culture of strictness, the culture of denigrating the individual, especially if the individual was different in some way or demonstrated some line of thinking which was original or unusual. This makes me think of those individuals who hated individualism, who hated difference, who hated ability. And just like with individuals, countries that are able are also hated, like Western countries, Israel, they are hated by people who value need over talent and ability. Now, the next quote is from the next page. Well, we got what we asked for. By the time we saw what it was that we'd asked for, it was too late. We were trapped with no place to go. The best men among us left the factory in the first week of the plan. We lost our best engineers, superintendents, foremen, and highest skilled workers. A man of self-respect doesn't turn into a milch cow for anybody. Some able fellows tried to stick it out, but they couldn't take it for long. We kept losing our men. They kept escaping from the factory like from a pest hole, till we had nothing left except the men of need, but none of the men of ability. And this happens to entire countries. Hi MTB, I'm doing great. How are you doing? For those of you who are just joining, I'm reading quotes from Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand and sharing my thoughts on them. Okay. Matt says, keep going. I believe in you. Thank you. Thank you to that thumbs up, whoever gave it to me. I encourage others to do the same. Thumbs up on YouTube and tap on the screen on TikTok. So this same thing, like people escaping, able people escaping the factory, happens to entire countries. And thank you for the hearts on YouTube. I appreciate that. The USSR and my country, Armenia, were very known for their huge levels of emigration, like people leaving the country. It's a huge problem until today, and throughout the decades for Russia, for Armenia, for former USSR, why they had to create this iron curtain, because people fled. Like after the Second World War, Berlin was divided into several parts, and one part was controlled by the USSR. And people, under the danger of being shot at, they fled Eastern Berlin, and they opted for Western Berlin, which was capitalist. And this was happening throughout the history, like many, many decades. People are living conservative and oppressive societies whenever they can. And this example of Ayn Rand, which is about one factory, is true of huge states as well. Whenever collectivism is too oppressive, individuals will always try to either change that society or change the society they live in, meaning choosing another society which will be more open and more welcoming and freer. Hopefully is good. Okay, Aiden. Yes, everything is good. Thank you. Hi, Lisa. Hi there. How is your day? My day is good, Aiden. How is your day? Where are you guys joining me from? Let me know in the comment section and tell me if you know Atlas Shrugged, if you know anything about Ayn Rand and her philosophy, objectivism. Okay. Yeah, this is what collectivism does to companies and to countries. Right-wing collectivism or left-wing collectivism. We see people leaving the United States with the arrival of the Trump administration as well, right? Some people choose to leave the country. So it's, this type of collectivism, be it right-wing or left-wing, when it's strangling individuals and individual freedoms, it becomes unattractive. It becomes too small for every free spirit. So the next quote is on page 670. At our last meeting, Ivy Starnes was the one who tried to brazen it out. She made a short, nasty, snippy little speech in which she said that the plan had failed because the rest of the country had not accepted it, that a single community could not succeed in the midst of a selfish, greedy world, and that the plan was a noble ideal, but human nature was not good enough for it. A young boy, the one who had been punished for giving us a useful idea in our first year, got up as we all sat silent, and walked straight to Ivy Starnes on the platform. He said nothing, he spat in her face. That was the end of the noble plan and of the 20th century. So this idea that we failed because the rest of the humanity or the rest of the continent or of the countries were not with us is very, very common in collectivism. Hi, Sean. Nice to see you. How are you doing? So, and again, it's so common in so many different expressions of collectivism, like fascists who worship the mustache guy. They say, well, fascists would have succeeded if other countries were like that too. The fall of the USSR, they are saying the same thing. And the slogan of the USSR was, proletariats of all countries, join us. It was a very popular slogan in the USSR. Пролетарии всех стран, присоединяйтесь. It was on the medals, it was on the posters, the state propaganda hoped that all the proletariats, meaning all the working classes or the entire working class on the globe would sooner or later come up with a socialist or communist revolution, and everybody would become socialists or communists. And they blame the rest of the world for not succeeding, right-wing collectivists, left-wing collectivists. They say, we would have succeeded had it been a little different. And every dictator, every collectivist thinks, I will succeed this time because I have something that my predecessors didn't have, like Putin is sure that he will succeed, he will remain in power, just like the dictator of North Korea. So every dictator dreams of, staying there and succeeding in the long run. So, okay, someone joined on TikTok, and TikTok is like, invite this guy. Okay, Nicolas, I'm inviting you. If you're interested, you can join me. Yeah. Now let's take maybe another code, or shall we try to join someone? I don't know, maybe it's too early for joining. Usually I read a few quotes and then try to join someone on TikTok. Now let's take another quote from page 683. It stands. Okay, someone invites me, Miss Cooper. Let's try. Hi guys. All good. What's up with you? So my life. Labor Day. Labor Day vibes. Guys, my life is about philosophy. Would you be interested in talking about philosophy? You can't hear me? Okay, this lady, no, she's not interested in hearing. So, Evil Twin, do you hear me? No, I think he doesn't. Okay, then I'll disconnect. They're not interested. All right. Oh, hi, Animal Protection. What's up, Arthur? And thanks for the likes. All right. Now let's read this quote. It stands as the money of a free country for achievement, for success, for ability, the dollar sign, okay? For man's creative power. And precisely for these reasons, it is used as a brand of infamy. It stands stamped on the forehead of a man like Hank Rearden as a mark of damnation. Incidentally, do you know where that sign comes from? It stands from the initial of the United States. The dollar sign, yeah? Some people say it's the letter U and S. It's just the letter U lost its lower part, so it's just two vertical stripes and the sign S. So some people say that the dollar sign comes from the name of the US, from the acronym. And I love this formulation. So it stands for achievement, for success, for ability, for man's creative power. And precisely for these reasons, it is used as a brand of infamy. So success, achievement, creativity is hated by people who are not interested in those qualities, who think that the universe or others owe them, yeah, who believe in mystery, mysticism, who believe that they have to get everything for free, like the government should take care of them, or some invisible power, or the rich. So these people hate creative people and creators. This is why, talented and wealthy people are hated. And usually there's this stereotype that if someone is wealthy, then they accumulated their wealth in illegal or immoral ways, generalizing, just to express their hatred of the rich. It's just a crazy generalization. Even if there are some criminals among rich people, just as there are criminals among poor people. Next quote, page 719. Well, one of them is a professor of economics who couldn't get a job outside, because he taught that you can't consume more than you have produced. One is a professor of history who couldn't get a job because he taught that the inhabitants of slums were not the men who made this country. And one is a professor of psychology who couldn't get a job because he taught that men are capable of thinking. So, this, mm, I think we are in this interesting utopia uh, in the book, so which was called Gold's. Oh, I forgot the name. Gold's something, Golge or something. So these people were denied jobs because of their of what they preached. Yes, again, what were they preaching? So one professor taught that you can't consume more than you have produced. Meaning, like, if you suppose your salary is $1,500 a month or 2,500, whatever. If you buy more than that, then you're doing the wrong thing. If you accumulate debt all the time, then it's against your own interests and it's against uh, reason. It's against free economy, because you have to return that debt. Yeah, a lot of people, of course, they hate this system. They think that the rich bankers robbed them, and that if they overspend and accumulate debt, the government or the banks have to forgive them because they do it for their families, because they are in need. Again, their thinking is needs based, and they think that others owe them. So, people who preach reasonable things are hated in many collectives. Yeah, or this professor of history, he taught that the inhabitants of slums were not the men who made this country. Again, collectivists adore this idea that everything is created by faceless and nameless masses. Like Da Vinci did not paint Mona Lisa, it were the disciples of Da Vinci who painted Mona Lisa, and Da Vinci just touched here and there and appropriated the work of his pupils. Or this rich banker did not build this building. Carnegie did not build the Carnegie Hall. The faceless and nameless workers did it, and so on. But interestingly, when you don't have Da Vinci, when you don't have Carnegie, those places are not built, in societies who didn't have Da Vinci or Carnegie. Why the primitive tribes had not built anything significant. It always takes individuals. Sure, sometimes individuals can be like oppressive kings, but still it takes individuals, it takes creative thoughts, it takes wealth and capital to create stuff. Yeah, like tribes who live in very primitive conditions, they do not build sphinxes and pyramids in Egypt or in Latin America. They do not produce paintings or statues, yeah, as refined as these statues of ancient Greece or the paintings in medieval Europe, etc. So creativity takes individuals and individual creativity, but collectivists hate these ideas. They're like, no, faceless masses build everything. And this third professor, a professor of psychology, he thought that men are capable of thinking. And you may laugh at this, but unfortunately, the idea that our reason is impotent, that your senses and your reason are fooling you, these ideas are very common even today. Culturally and academically, there are a lot of professors and individuals and mystics who preach that you shouldn't trust your sense organs, you shouldn't trust your reason. And interestingly, they go on teaching through their own senses and through their own reason, teaching that reason is important, and suggesting some other alternatives like mysticism or religion or the power of the collective, you know? It can be religious, it can be irreligious, it can be social, political, but these ideas are still very common. Um, okay, now I think I may try to connect with someone on TikTok and let's see if we can talk about philosophy with some interesting individuals who are open to the topic. Hi there, all good, what's up with you?
Chilling, homie, just chilling, bro.
Right, my life is about philosophy and literature. Would you be interested in talking around philosophical topics?
Talking about what topics?
Philosophical, philosophy.
Yeah, but I'm not too. What's the word? I don't have much knowledge on it, but I got a little bit, not much. But yeah, I'd like to hear it definitely.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll make it simple. Like we could take very simple
Yeah, that's cool with me. I'm
aspects.
down. I love to learn something new.
Cool, cool, cool. So
Yeah,
let's discuss the following.
I guess
Which
philosophy. I guess the basically the only one I know is basically about Caesar, how he was the fucking longest. You know what I mean. It's basically the only one I know. I know it's cliche, but it's really the one
about
I know about Caesar, and he got power and never let it go. You know what I mean? That's the only. I don't know if that's even philosophy, is it?
well, why not? You know, philosophy is very broad, so it can be
Well, I don't
philosophy.
know. You know what I mean? So I don't want to sound silly, but I
No,
guess
no, no,
that's
no.
kind of
It's okay. It's okay. Don't be afraid of,
yeah.
sounding silly. So I can take a passage, read it out, and then we can talk about it. How's
Yeah,
that?
that'd be cool. Yeah, sure.
Okay. So page 710. The book is Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So page 710. You told them that you would stop the motor of the world. I have. What have you done? I've done nothing, Miss Taggart, and that's the whole of my secret. She looked at him silently for a long moment. He stood waiting as if he could read her thoughts.
You're breaking up, like as you're speaking. No, sorry to interrupt you, but
It's
as you're
your
speaking, you're
connection.
breaking up a bit.
It's your connection.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna turn everything real low so I can just try to get me.
So, yes, I took this passage because it's about the importance of creators and creative power. So, what do you think? Would you agree that if creative people stop creating, then we'd have no progress and things would start to crumble? Or it's not really about creative people? Uh,
Just progress in general.
yeah.
Um, well, I guess obviously as human beings, even if they're not creative or whatever, it will progress. Like what I believe in as a religious person,
Mm-hmm.
you get me? So philosophy and religion, really, you get what I'm trying to get at? I'm not going to get into it. So, but what I believe in anyway,
Mm-hmm.
it will happen, and yeah, it's going to happen, definitely. Yeah, I believe it would. Maybe not in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. You know what I mean? Not used for good, maybe for bad, but
Yeah.
it will happen. It's just what's the word? It's inevitable.
Um,
But
what?
I'm saying, okay, all right. If all the creative people, I guess it's not inevitable. I guess you need a little bit of luck, like everything in life, don't you?
You know,
Uh,
I'm thinking of all these primitive tribes in Africa, in the jungles of the
right.
Amazon. Like they didn't come up with like pyramids or art, architecture, like centuries.
Right.
Yes, for centuries they've been
Right.
living in their primitive
Yes.
conditions. So for some reason, yeah, they live, they kind of survive. Yeah,
Yes.
and they could come up with some
It's
primitive things like very basic stuff, but for some
yeah,
reason,
it's just enough to live. That's it.
yeah, but
Just
for some
enough
reason
to
it
live.
does not
There's no joy in
flourish.
it though. There's no extra. There's no. If
Yeah,
that makes sense, you're like you said, you're surviving. That's all you're doing is
yeah,
surviving. You're not living.
yeah,
You're just
you're on a
surviving.
survival mode. You're not in the flourishing mode. So this is why I would disagree with you when you say, yeah, it's inevitable. I think if creative people do nothing, then there is no progress. At most, there can be survival, you know?
Absolutely, that's it. You're just gonna get by, and I guess. So I guess what I'll say about if there's no creative people, I believe there wouldn't be much joy in the world.
Mm-hmm.
If
There
that
would be
makes
much
sense. There
what?
wouldn't be much joy because the
Joy.
creative people
Oh,
are
yeah.
gonna make stuff for good. You get me? So
Yeah.
I guess the joy level would be at an all-time low.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It would just or like or like I said, it could go very left. Human beings.
Yeah.
So it could
Yeah.
it could go very left too. It could go to angriness. Instead of just trying to survive, it could get angry, and it could
Mm-hmm.
go to a sort of what's those movies where they get one day to go out and pew everybody. Those movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that. That's what I believe would happen.
Yeah.
Just because obviously if they're not people, if they got to that point, yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
it would be, it would be hectic. It would be drastic anyway.
Okay, let's take another quote from page 722. What for? To feed the looters? No, to earn the fortune you deserve. But I'm richer now than I was in the world. What's wealth but the means of expanding one's life? There's two ways one can do it, either by producing more or by producing it faster. And that's what I'm doing. I'm manufacturing time. What do you mean? I'm producing everything I need. I'm working to improve my methods, and every hour I save is an hour added to my life. It used to take me 5 hours to fill that tank. It now takes three. The two I saved are mine, as pricelessly mine as if I moved my grave 2 further hours away for every five I've got. That's interesting, isn't it?
That's very interesting. Very.
So I'd like to talk about this sentence. What's wealth but the means of expanding one's life? That's a beautiful idea, actually.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's a wonderful idea. Life it's precious. Time is the only thing you can't
Yeah,
buy, obviously.
yeah. Eh,
Everybody wants more of it, and unfortunately,
See,
everybody has an expiration date. Well, I get what he's saying, that your time is the most precious thing that,
yeah, it's not even time itself. Like, we can also take that. Sure, it's part of the message. But what is wealth? Because some people think that wealth is about securing your retirement and ensuring that you live kind of carelessly or without the fear of remaining homeless or hungry at an old age. That's one take. That's, thinking around negatives, like trying to fight off negative things. Like, I don't want to be in misery, I don't want to be homeless, I don't want to be hungry. That's why I'm accumulating wealth. So, in that mindset, wealth is not really about extending your life, you know? And if you're creative, if you're thinking around positive instead of thinking around negatives, then you may treat wealth as something that helps you accumulate wealth and create your well
yeah.
being, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. Negative stuff brings nothing. Being negative brings nothing. And
Yeah.
I'm religious, but I do believe what the energy you put out in the universe, it will. You know what I mean? That energy is real.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely, I agree 100% on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
See,
it's
uh, uh,
it's deep. It's deep.
As a religious person, like often religion, especially Abrahamic religions like Christianity, not always, but often they preach that the material world, money, everything is dirty. You cannot have two masters, as the Bible says. Yeah, you cannot worship the Mammona or the master of money and God at the same time.
No,
Or
it
there's
says
a
there's only one thing that
wait, wait,
yeah,
wait. Don't
only one
interrupt,
person.
please. Don't
Sorry.
interrupt, please. And there is this other saying by Jesus that says, it is more real than a camel would pass through the needle than the rich inheriting the kingdom of heaven. So, if you're religious, I assume you're Christian, am I right? Or not?
I'm Catholic,
Yeah, Christian.
so
So how do
it
you
got they
reconcile
say
those two?
they got a little bit. It's a bit the same, but there is a difference. There is like not just the way we pray and a couple things we believe in. That's it. That's all. Small
Um,
things.
well,
Small to me. Like I don't. Whatever. Obviously, you're a Christian. You believe in you have the same beliefs as me. It's just our system works a little different. That's it.
well, I'm not a believer myself, but I admit you have the right to believe and practice
Yeah,
your
absolutely.
belief.
Like
I admit
believe in
that.
Jesus Christ is, you know what I mean, and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
that's
So,
it. Even if you don't, I don't mind if you believe in a butterfly. If that's what makes your day go good. Then I support it. I'm not that type of Catholic. I don't push on nobody. If you
mhm.
and like I said, if a butterfly you pray to makes your whatever great day, whatever help you, and more power to you, brother.
Mhm.
So
So
that's how
in your
I
mindset, there's no problem, right, between being rich and good Christian. You can have both, right?
absolutely.
Okay, okay.
Absolutely. You know,
Hmm.
that's just something I believe some people would say different, but hey,
Yeah, it's about often it's about interpretation. There's
absolutely.
an
It's how do you want
interesting
to live your life?
there's an
You know,
interesting quote by Shakespeare about Christianity. The Bible. He said even the devil can quote the Bible for his needs, meaning there are so many things and so many controversies in the Bible. One verse says one thing, the other says another thing, and you can choose and adjust and make it serve your own views, your own perception.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Cool. Shall we take another passage?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me
Okay.
hear another one.
So page 722.
What up, Ellie? How you doing, honey?
Here we trade achievements. Here we trade achievements, not failures, values, not needs. We're free of one another, yet we all grow together. Wealth, Dagny. What greater wealth is there than to own your life and to spend it on growing? Every living thing must grow. It can't stand still. It must grow or perish. Yeah, that's beautiful. It must grow or perish.
Yeah, that's good.
Um, and this makes me think of several things. Um, so, um, capitalism, yeah, when we take capitalism and owning your own life, he says, what greater wealth is there than to own your own life and to spend it on growing? So, capita, the word caput, it's a Latin term meaning head. So, capitalism is about property, but where does property start? It can start with your mind, with your body, and then with your pockets, owning yourself, and then owning and producing and creating, capital and wealth.
Absolutely. Capitalism is a tough subject. It's tough. And
Mm-hmm.
I just, because then there's people that say they're a sovereign citizen and they don't believe in you understand that capitalism is just, I guess it's a way of living, I guess.
Yeah.
It's what you really believe in, right? I guess.
Capitalism is a form of society organizing, how you organize the society and how you choose
Right.
to interact with each other.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, would you say you're
I
pro
didn't even,
capitalism?
hold on a second. Sorry about that. I didn't even,
So,
I just muted them. I didn't know. I didn't.
So would you say you're pro capitalism or like more pro socialism, and why?
Um, I guess. Uh, I'm not for cat. No, socialism. I don't know about that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
bro, I live a wild little lifestyle. You get me? We don't know each other from a can of paint, but I just go on what's right. That makes sense.
Okay, but it seems like so you're not really comfortable with capitalism either. So neither socialism nor capitalism. Then what?
It's just there's I don't know. I definitely wouldn't like capitalism. I mean, socialism is not the best either. I guess
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know what I'd be. To be honest, I don't
Okay.
know. To be honest, like that's God's honest truth. Like the both of them got bad things. So you know what I mean? It
Mm-hmm.
just I don't know. I'm not good with rules. Period. You understand? I'm more of a I'm an old I'm a risky hippie. I don't you
You're
know
more of an anarchist, I
it's
would say. Would that be correct?
what'd you
Anarchist?
say?
Anarchist?
Yeah. From Tampa, Florida.
So you're more of an anarchist, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
I like to shoot guns. I like to wrestle alligators and then eat them. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
I'm a bit of a, I'm a redneck. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. So
So I
I'm just on this because I am open minded. Though, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
I'll wrestle a gator and then have to
Uh-huh.
talk about philosophy. That's fun.
Sure. Sure. So yeah, I like this idea. I love it when he says wealth is about owning your own life. Like rational human beings try to get there, right? Why do you want to earn more money? Why do you want to save? So that you
Right.
own your time, yeah? You don't depend on your employer or on the government or on some other group, you know. So that is basically you and your time. um, Sometimes I think people lose the perspective or they don't even understand. They just do it subconsciously or because this is what others do and that's why I will do it myself. But asking those questions, what is wealth? What is it for? Why do I want to save and earn? You know, it gives you a clear perspective and it helps you grow, you know.
Absolutely.
And then this other point, it's so beautiful. He says, every living thing must grow. It can't stand still. It must grow or perish. I love it. You know, in science, there is also an interesting theory. It's called constructal theory. There is one which is called constructional, that's different. And this one is called constructal theory, which is
Okay.
basically the same thing that whatever exists always tries to expand. Like if you take the drop of water, when it freezes, you see those beautiful extensions, right? And then extension upon extension, it's getting smaller, and this is how snowflakes are born. Or the seed, when it grows, you see branches and leaves, or our lungs,
Right.
or rivers. So everything tries to expand and grow, you know?
I agree 100%.
And this is beautiful. And this is the thing, I think this is why I'm not really a conservative, because in conservative, you try to conserve, you try to save. When it's only about trying to save things, then where is growth, you know?
Yeah.
So this is why conservatism doesn't make too much sense for me because it doesn't support the growth,
I
you know?
agree. I agree with that 1,000,000%. I agree with that. Definitely agree. That's a
Okay,
fact.
all right,
100%. Hey,
cool.
brother, what was I gonna say though? I gotta get in the car. I'm going to McDonald's. I'm starving. I can't
Okay,
drive and talk. So when
sure.
I get back, man, I'll add you. I added you, so add me back, and I'll hop back
Yeah,
on. All
I'll
right.
follow you back. Okay, I did. So thanks, Colin. Thanks for your time and enjoy your
Absolutely,
meal.
brother. Have a
Bye
good
bye.
night. All right.
You too.
See you, brother.
Okay, that was nice. That was creative. Oh, Faraz followed me. Well, thank you, Faraz. Mm, yeah, I think that's it. Oh, someone gave me hearts. Thank you for tapping on the screen. 100. 93 hearts. That's beautiful. TikTok, let's keep up. Give me a thumbs up if you're following this live. Okay. Now, the next quote is from page 723. I had to fight for it. I had to ruin a competitor first. What? He grinned and pointed to the glass door of a sun-flooded room. There's my ruined competitor, he said. So this, I think, is Jim Taggart, probably. And he is talking to her sister Dagny, who gets surprised. What? And then he shows the room, sun-flooded room. There's my ruined competitor. Meaning, like, I built this property or I added this room because I ruined my competitor. So, yet again, some people assume that the philosophy of Ayn Rand, or the philosophy of objectivism, is about defending the rich. But in reality, when you read the books of Ayn Rand, including Atlas Shrugged, you see rich people that are also immoral, that accumulate wealth through dishonest means. And this is proof that Ayn Rand does not just advocate for the rights and the privileges of the wealthy. She distinguishes between creative and honest traders, and you can be a trader in many professions. I'm a private tutor, but I'm a trader. I trade my skills for something I find valuable. It can be your money, it can be some barter you can offer me, yeah? When we both find value, that's trade. So you can be an honest trader and what's the word? You can be an honest trader in many different professions. Yeah, it's not just merchants and traders literally, okay? Yeah. So honest trader is someone who is interested in win-win. I win, you win. We both win, we exchange values, yeah? And dishonest traders are about win-lose. And again, you can be a politician, you can be anything or anyone and be a dishonest. Oh, animal protection, thank you for sharing the live. Thanks a lot, I appreciate that. So, and thank you for the likes, by the way, thanks a lot. You can be a dishonest trader. You can be a politician who can promise one thing, and then when you come to power, you do the other thing, yeah? Like you can promise to declassify some secret files, and then when you come to power, you can be like, oh no, I'm not doing that, yeah? Or you can promise to decrease the debt level of the country, and then when you come to power, you increase it. So that dishonest trading as well. It's win-lose. You win, others lose, right? So in the world of Ayn Rand, in the world of objectivism, we are interested in rational self-interest. Rational self-interest is this relationship of win-win. Because as a rational human being, you need to understand that when you lie, when you cheat, you are stealing away from yourself. First and foremost, you are stealing away your rating, your integrity, your future. Like, people will not be interested in doing, like honest people at least, won't be interested in doing business with you, right? And in the short run, it can be very lucrative, very profitable to cheat and lie, but in the long run, you have to answer for this behavior, right? So this is why rational self-interest is about win-win. Like, I rationally understand that if I want to thrive in the long run, I need to be honest with others. I need to be transparent. I need to be honest. I need to give my best, offer very good quality lessons, offer things that are useful and practical and working, so that people continue coming to me. They continue watching my lives, they continue taking my lessons, and so on. Okay? I think I'll take one more quote for today. Probably one more. Okay, now let's take from page 725. That's the only sort of man I like to hire. Dagny, have you lived too long among the looters? Have you come to think that one man's ability is a threat to another? Oh no, but I thought I was almost the only one left who didn't think that. Any man who's afraid of hiring the best ability he can find is a cheat who's in a business where he doesn't belong. To me, the foulest man on earth, more contemptible than a criminal, is the employer who rejects men for being too good. That's what I've always thought, and say, what are you laughing at? She was listening to him with an eager, incredulous smile. It's so startling to hear, she said, because it's so right. So, yeah, sometimes employers are afraid of ability, yeah? Sometimes HR managers are like, if I hire this person, then this person might grow in the company and might threaten my own position. And I met people like this. One of my cousins had this mindset. He told me about a situation once where he worked at a private company and he was responsible for hiring people. And he said that one smart guy approached the company and he asked questions. He understood that the guy was very talented and he was afraid that if the guy was hired, he would have taken away his job. So he intentionally asked too complex questions and some questions that were not related to the job in order not to hire this guy. So narrow minds, like narrow-minded people, um, who live based on instincts, based on fear, are like that, you know. It's funny, it's sad, but it is what it is. Thank you, Animal Protection. We already have 364 hearts. Thank you so much. Now, I will try to connect to last person and then I have a lesson with Animal Protection. Actually, he's one of my students. I teach him English. I teach several subjects: English, French, chess, philosophy, and beginner Hebrew, and a few other things about personal development, yoga. So he's waiting for me to finish my live and then we'll connect. I'll just try to have an interesting exchange with someone on philosophy. Let's see if that works. Hi there.
Hey.
Hi, Bry Cakes. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. My live is about philosophy and literature. Would you be interested in talking about philosophy?
We can do a little bit. Would you mind doing a match with me while we
Sure,
discuss it?
sure, we can. Yeah, why not? I have only one follower.
Me
Yes.
too.
Cool. Okay, I sent you the invite. You can. Oh, yes.
Thank
So
you.
we're battling. Sure. Yeah, so let's take philosophy. Do you Are you thinking person or a believing person? Let's start from here.
A thinking person or a believer?
Yeah, what's more important to you?
Mm, I think I think more.
Okay,
I
okay.
think I'm a thinker.
You're a thinker. Cool.
Yeah, my mind is like always running, so I believe I'm a thinker more than a believer.
All
But I
right.
believe too now. Don't. I ain't gonna take away from the fact. I think a little bit more.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's part of philosophy. So the first branch of philosophy is about the nature of reality. So some people will say that this reality is fake, Others would say this is the only real reality. And so, what do you feel like, or what do you think? Is this reality real, or is this a matrix, or a sort of purgatory, and there is heaven? What are your thoughts on the nature of reality?
Um, I feel like if I can boil some hot water and I can pour it on me and I can feel it,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's reality. But I mean, I don't know, cause
Mm-hmm.
I can't say this the Matrix. Who knows what the Matrix is? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
not saying that we not in it, but who knows what it is? But I
Mm-hmm.
know if I boil some water and pour it on me, it's gonna scorch me. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't think I think it's reality. You know.
All right. All right. So I tend to agree with you, but for the sake of the conversation, I'll try to challenge you a little bit more. Okay. Um,
Okay.
so see, sometimes people have uh, visions, or they feel like something is real, and there is a very interesting phenomenon when
Big
the
Viper, tap for me, baby. You in here? Tap, 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 and also get a good lecture from my boy in here. He definitely would teach you some things. I was on a live with him before, and I learned some things. And hopefully he can teach me something or challenge me even more tonight. So, baby, while you in here, tap and add him as well. Let's get this thing going.
Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah, I can. Do I follow you or not? I think I do. Oh,
Yes, we
yes.
follow each other.
Oh, cool. All right. Yeah. Thanks for that. So, yeah. Yeah. So, there's this interesting phenomenon when a member of the body is cut, medically removed. Sometimes people feel pain for weeks and, in some cases, for months. So it's just, they feel like the member is still there, the brain is still generating pain. So all those
Mm,
scorching, I understand what you're saying. Yes, scorching, it leaves traces, yeah? So it's kind
mm-hmm.
of objectively visible. So I get that. I agree on that. But what if um, it's just your thoughts and your fears?
A mind thing telling you that is hurting or is pain or I get you. Okay then. Yeah, you just open me up just a little bit more. That do make sense too though.
Yeah.
Like what if your mind is telling you that it's pain but in reality it's not? So that makes sense, okay.
Or it can be painful, but it could be. Sometimes people generate pain. Have you heard of placebo effect? Do you know this term, placebo?
This will be my first time hearing of it.
Ah, okay. So it's a medical term, and it's when people can heal themselves because they think and believe that they can. And medically, it has been recorded many, many times. They have very interesting experiments. So sometimes people are given Tic Tac or some candy, but the doctor tells them that this is a powerful drug, and people believe that it's a drug, and they get better. That's placebo effect. And
Okay.
interestingly, there's the opposite, which is called the nocebo effect, when you can be given a really powerful drug, but it cannot help you because you condemned yourself mentally. You're like, nothing will help me. And there are some cases when patients just pass away, even if they are given very potent and useful drugs. So, that's very
Hmm.
interesting. Okay, if you have nothing to answer, we could maybe.
That's very very interesting.
Yeah,
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that one though?
yeah, sure. On
Okay.
both placebo.
Yeah.
Okay,
Please.
yeah, sure. I think I could actually try to leave a comment. Can I do that here? So that if people are interested, you or someone else, like you could also take a screenshot and ask ChatGPT what it is. But I'll
Okay.
elaborate. I'll elaborate in a second. Give it placebo, and then I'll give you the opposite,
Hey
nocebo.
Queen, you in here tap it up and add
All
Tap it
right.
up for me, baby.
Thank you. So there it is, placebo. So placebo, um, it's just an interesting phenomenon when people can heal themselves, like really objectively. They can take care of physical illness by just thinking that they will. They are able to do that. There's a very interesting guy, Dr. Joe Spinoza, who is an excellent example. I'll give you that name as well in the comments. He had a crush and his spine was like destroyed. And he
Okay.
is a classical doctor. So he himself knew that he wouldn't be able to walk. And he says in his interviews, he says, like, if I had a patient like that, I would have told the patient that they wouldn't be able to walk again, you know? But he says that he was angry about it and he felt that he didn't want to give up. So he just visualized when he was paralyzed, he visualized over and over again how his vertebrae, like those things we have, yes, what the spine is made of, how those vertebrae would connect to each other and how it would become the spine that we have. And he did it over a few months. He failed a lot. At the beginning, especially, he would visualize one part of it, then his mind would run off, and then he would force himself to come back. So he failed many, many, many times. But over a few months, he did it relentlessly, and he started walking again. And his case is like very well documented. This is why I gave you his name. On YouTube, he has interesting videos, he has some books, etc. Um,
Okay.
I wouldn't say it works like 100% in all cases, and this is not to say that you should reject traditional medicine. Like if you have, you know, diseases and issues, you need to go and see a doctor, right? You should be a rational and responsible human being. But still, even doctors use this thing. And there was one study where the doctor told the focus group that, guys, now I'm going to give you um, a pill which is made of mostly, I think it was soda and sugar. But I want, so this is not the real thing, he said his patients, but I want to test and see if you believe that this will help you, knowing that it's not a real drug. I want to see whether it will work. And I think 70 plus percent of respondents of that group got some positive effects out of that. So even if you know that it's not the real drug, but if you condition yourself, you know, it can give you some positive effects. So this is the placebo effect, and it's useful, especially if you see the doctor and you use it as an auxiliary thing. It will just improve, you know, your results. Very helpful, very useful thing. And then the opposite, nocebo effect. There is another interesting guy. He is also, like he was a practicing, I think, surgeon, if I'm not mistaken. He performed surgeries on people. Deepak Chopra. So let me write down his name. Deepak Chopra. He's kind of well known in the personal development and new thought movements. He says that in his career, he himself had cases when he and other doctors wrongfully diagnosed or misdiagnosed the patient. They said, you have cancer and you're going to pass away. And he says that then, when the patient passed away, they performed an autopsy and they didn't find traces of any cancer. So,
Wow.
yeah, he says the patient just believed the authority of the doctor, and he condemned himself. So, unfortunately, with your own thoughts, you could even destroy your immune system, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy stuff. But yeah, very interesting
Yeah,
stuff.
that's interesting.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for being with me now. My student is waiting for me. I have a lesson, so I have to finish here. Okay. A big high five to
Okay,
you.
thank you, thank you,
Thank
thank you. High
you.
five it. High five it.
Thank
Thank you.
you. See you
Thank you.
next time. Have a good rest of the day. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Thanks. Thanks. Awesome. This was good. This was beautiful, healthy, and productive. So, YouTube, thumbs up. TikTok, tap on the screen. Oh, 2,600 likes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, everyone, especially Animal Protection. Arthur, thank you. And I'm joining you in a few minutes, okay? All right. See you guys soon.